Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I was going to be doing a how to build for the Halloween DM, but I decided instead that I'd do a how to build for Zeldris. So this is Zeldris. He's not actually that bad. He's a very old character. He's been out for a very long time. I think maybe even 2-3 years next year. And with that, he has not too bad stats. So he's got 62,000 CC. Yes, he is 6'6". I don't have all outfits for him, and I don't have his relic. But I will of course go over his relic. And if you want to get his outfits as well. But his CC isn't too bad. For a very old character, 62,000 CC HTB defense is not bad. Especially because my HTB defense gear is not the best. But it's still not too bad. Substats. He has like old character substats. He doesn't actually have too bad crit resistance and crit defense for a character of his time. Pierce rate is low, but that's kind of a normal thing for older characters. Resistance is actually very good. Crit chance and crit damage, well his crit chance is higher than Rough Tullius, so that's good, and his crit damage is nearly higher, which is also good as well. So it's not actually too bad. His substats are actually very good overall. His skill, he does have a deplete old gauge skill, which is kind of nice, because you'll be mainly using this guy in PvE, whether that's for final bosses to get extra points, because he is actually not too bad for a final boss, or for Knighthood boss as well, because he does have the few strats that he is good for on the Hell difficulty. If you're of course pushing for points, or you just want to get the 9k points for all the rewards, which is what I do. His other skill, which is disables recovery skills, it's okay. I wish they gave it a slight buff at level 2. It's not really a buff, it just increases the turn for the debuff. And no bosses really have a recovery skill. Most of them just have like a cleanse or something along the lines of that, or sometimes they're just completely debuff immune and they have a recovery skill, so it just doesn't work in general. But the multiplier is not too bad, I guess, at level 1. Level 2 I wish I had a little bit of a boost, and level 3 it's not the best, but it's okay, it's decent damage. His ult, on the other hand, is Spike, which is very good if you have better crit chance. Yes, his crit chance is very low, and yes, in some final bosses or Knighthood bosses, they might have really low crit resistance, which is completely fine, but when they have really high crit resistance, he's not going to be hitting that hard, because of course it's Spike, but he does have a very high multiplier, which is of course quite good, so that means when he doesn't crit, he still does not too bad damage. His commandment, because of course he does have a commandment, depletes one orb from the ultimate gauge, and removes debuffs when moving a skill. That means when you move a skill, instead of rushing ultimate in PvP, what would happen instead is you would lose ult gauge, which is not bad. You lose ult gauge, but it does cleanse your debuffs, which is good, especially if you get attack sealed or frozen, stunned. All these sort of moves that would hinder you. You can just remove them, and it could actually be half decent against Hell, because you can remove the debuffs. Of course, you can only do it at the start of a turn, so you'll still have some pain stacks, I think it's called. And you have his passive, which is increase basic allies' stats. Increase allies' basic stats by 6% for each hero in the battle with a commandment. What this means is that he boosts everyone's stats by the amount of commandments there are on the field, which is really good, because let's just say you've got him, and then you've got a full goddess team for basic stats for final boss or for some sort of event. You'll be getting the 6% basic stats because he's on the team. That's it. And then his Relic, which works everywhere, which I'll go over now, which is really the main part. You really want to use him if you've got the Relic, because the Relic is what's really needed for Final Boss and for Knighthood Boss. It's his Relic, which is the key thing. His stats on it aren't too bad. 200 attack is not bad. That's an extra 200 CC minimum if you don't have gear or anything like that. Defense isn't bad, and HP is actually on the good side. Of course, unfortunately, it is a Nidhogg Demonic Beast Relic, which is sort of irritating, but it's not too bad. We'll get over to the effect now. If the hero's ultimate gauge move is decreased, this is for everyone on your team, by the way, or if the hero's skill uses decrease, or if the hero uses a skill that decreases the enemy's move gauge, increase allies' base stats by 6% for each ultimate move orb in the up to 5 times, which is not bad. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure, I don't think it counts if it's your other heroes on the field. I know if he uses the ult gauge removal skill, that will give him 1 stack, and if you move a card for him, of course, then he'll lose the ult gauge. That will also count as well, but I don't think removing the ult gauges for your other teammates count. But it isn't too bad, because you do it 30% basic stats, which is very good. As well as you've been able to get another 6%, so you're looking at 36% basic stats, which is better than the Nashi in terms of stat boosts. And he works, of course, anyway. He hasn't got a restriction on race either. Of course, he does perform better with commandments. You do get more basic stats from his passive, but his relic still provides you with 30% flat, no matter what, no matter who you're using, as long as you've got him on the field and you are removing old gauge from yourself or from the enemy using Zeldris, which is kind of nice. Of course, gear-wise, we're going to gear now. My gear isn't the best, or the attack roll isn't the best, which are actually quite a bit more CC. But he's got HTB defense. This is just my normal Zeldris set. This is why I use an Obvious Nebula Zeldris, or on Executioner Zeldris, or any of the Zeldris. I just go HTB defense. He's not really a DPS. They're not really built for DPSs. But, you know, 30% basic stats is really good. He's got actually quite good HP. Bear in mind I'm missing 3 headgears. I've not got any of his equipment leveled up. If I had all his equipment leveled up, I'm guessing I could probably push 63, 64k, maybe even 65. But he is a very good PvE character, especially for those harder pieces of content. If you are pushing for points. If you're not pushing for points, of course, you don't really have to care about Zeldris. His relic is always nice to have, though, just in case, of course, a final boss comes out in the future, and his relic is quite needed. And of course, when they make near target infinitely farmable, of course, I'm always the person who will recommend going for every relic, just so you have the advantage when using a character, or, you know, there's a little niche of a boss battle where someone's relic is good, but you haven't got it. You know, it's always good to grab it. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.